Hi everyone and happy Tuesday. We are back with our candy cart and our Castle Arts Harmonious pencils to finish off all the small details on the page. Now I am thinking quite hard about how to do this. I think what I'm going to start with is the cakes. We'll sort of work our way across. So let's come in nice and close. I'm probably going to leave the balloons until last. Actually, I might not start with the cakes, even though I said I was. We might just start with a candle. I did say that I was going to use the wheatgrass for the flame, so I'm just going to do that now. Now, when I do a candle like this, I usually make the candle flame darker and then a little bit inside the lamp, so that's what I'm doing. This is quite a pinky yellow. I know that sounds weird, but I think that's the best I can do, really. Then we need a candle colour. Sorry, I stopped the video then, so my book might have moved because I think I knocked it. Because I was just remembered I hadn't written down the colours I used in my video, yesterday's video, so I needed to quickly do that. So candle colour is what I was thinking of, and I am I'm wondering about the purple rose. I can't find it though. Oh, there it is. Did we use that for, is that the colour we used for the wheels? No, I don't think so. Let me just scribble it. No. Yeah, I'm going to use the purple rose. I'm just going to sharpen it though. As everything, purple rose. And with candles, I tend to make them a little darker on the edges and lighter in the middle if I can, to make them look a bit more rounded. Such a teeny tiny one. There we go. Now the giraffe. Giraffe's quite tricky. We don't have a giraffe colour. What I'm actually going to do is grab the wheatgrass again. I think we're going to be using this wheatgrass a fair bit today. Colour him in completely with wheatgrass. I realise he's got spots and they probably need to be darker. I will find a darker colour in a minute. So there he is. Now our other brownie tones are really dark, but we're going to give it a go and be careful. So this is our mocha. My mocha is got no silver line around it. I don't know why, but anyway, I'm going to colour really gently over these with the mocha just to darken them up a bit. And you can see that I don't need to press that hard, and we get a little bit of a contrasting colour, and our giraffe looks reasonably, in my opinion, giraffe-like. There he is. I'm going to do his little horns, or whatever they are. There. Okay, now we're moving on to these little cakes. I think I need to come in even closer, really, don't I? Now these little pieces of paper as well I've been thinking of, and I've been thinking I want them in a really pale papery type colour. Don't really have such a thing, so I'm afraid I'm going to go back to my wheatgrass again, but this time quite gently, just a little layer just to make it look like it's a slightly browned paper. I'm going to do it here and here on this paper. We've got a piece of paper here as well, look. I'm going to check and see whether we've got any others as well, just to do them all while I'm sort of at it. We have labels, which I might use it for as well, here and on all these little jars, just gently, and then down here as well. And for me, this is a paper bag. Oops, so I'm going to do this. I'm sorry, I'm chopping and changing. Sometimes I have a bit of a habit of doing that. A bit of shadow underneath there. And probably at the bottom. And then these labels too. I'm just going to have a quick look, make sure I've got them all. I think I have, so we can go back up here to our little cupcakes. Now the cupcake cases we can do in a pinky shade. I'm thinking I want to try and avoid the pinks that I've done already, but not stray too far away. Now the amaretto is a very intense colour, see, compared to what we've done. I'm going to use that for these little cherries, but I want to do them, straighten you up a bit, there we go, gently, faintly, so they don't, you know, I don't want them standing out as if they're catching our eye, and the cases really lightly, like that. Now the icing, I think we could do in a slightly pinker shade, a slightly lighter shade. The rosy stone is a slightly lighter shade of the same colour. It's a little bit brownish, but we don't get perfect pinks in this set. I think it will work. Just pop some over there. There we go. Now we can move across to these larger cakes. Now I'm thinking that these have actual cake showing, so we need a colour for like the brown of the cake. I don't think we have that colour apart from our wheatgrass, so I'm going to grab that again and put that here. I'm going to intensify it a bit because we want to be able to see it a little bit more than the paper, which, you know, paper is usually very pale. And also on this cake. And I don't know if there are any other cakes too that need to be. No, there aren't any more cakes. Okay, so we've got cherries and icing. We could go with the same as we did before. It's tempting to sort of match them up, so that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab the amaretto that we use for these little ones and use it for these. Again, not too hard. I don't want them to just be just these vibrant circles, nothing else. And I'm thinking layer of jam here and here. And then we can use our rosy stone for the cream or icing. This one I think is icing. I think the other one is like a Victoria sponge cake, my son's favourite. One of my boys had a lardy yesterday. You might not know what a lardy is. But with the jars, I think I'm going to colour what's inside them first and then come back through and colour the glass after, so we do all the glass in one go. I am just going to use this rosy stone to fill in that heart shape. There we go. Now this to me looks like those red laces, chewy, sweetie laces. I don't know if you get them. And they're usually quite dark. I'm going to use the sour berry colour. Now watch out, look how vibrant that is. But I'm going to use it gently. Again, for the same reasonings, I don't want this bit just standing out and nothing else. It's going to look a little bit odd. So I'm actually just going to colour the whole of this in quite lightly with this colour. There we go. Now this one, these look like gobstoppers, and they could be in lots of different colours or they could be all the same colour. I'm going to grab the beetroot colour to do these. I wonder if they do use beetroot for sweet colourings, because it's very vibrant, isn't it? So just gently. You can see it's slightly different to that one if you look carefully. And then we have these square ones. I'm looking at my swatch chart because I'm looking at purples. Some do get purple sweets. So should we do the blueberry? I don't know if that's the blueberry. Yeah, we'll do them in the blueberry. Again, we're going to have to be careful, gentle. So just lay it on quite lightly. It's not easy being light-handed with colour, but I'm sure you can do it. Now, let's do this hanging bottle here, jar. Got a leaf in there, so going to get back to our seafoam green and just pop that one in. Yeah. Now, fish in water. So the water we want to be a bluey green. I think, yeah, the ocean sapphire sounds like the right colour, doesn't it? That's not the right one though, it must be this one. Yeah. Ocean sapphire. Give it a sharpen. Not too hard again, remember, keeping everything soft. Now these pencils do blend nicely, so if you want to darken up a soft colour, you can use a little bit of the dark colour and then a lot of the soft colour and sort of blend them up. But that isn't what I'm wanting to do today. Now, what colour for the fish? Well, I would often do them orange, but I can't because I don't have one. So I think I'm going to grab this beautiful topaz colour, but you can see how dark it is. Again, soft touch. Excuse me. Because it's quite a different shade of blue to the water, then they still stand out. Now we have all our candies and things here, so we want to be going with our sort of pails, I think, you know, the lollipops and things. But oh, my hands are so cold. I'm going to use the plum actually for the lollies. Sharpen it up. I think I'm going to have to do the whole of it because I can't really do much. Normally I would sort of put a shadow around there. I could try, but I don't want to get too dark. There we go. Now the stick. I'm going to use our mocha. Remember we used that earlier for the sticks. Gently. I'm just going to use it for all of them. Now often they would have white sticks, not brown, but I feel like it needs colouring in. Now we have stripy. Now these to me look like marshmallows on a stick, like flumps, but who knows what they are. I think I'm going to just grab the rosy stone first and do every other stripe with this. Sharpening it up. Now again with these, I would normally make them darker on the edges so that they look a little bit rounded. I think that one and that one. But there isn't space, so. The other colour, doesn't really matter. I don't want blue. Could use the green or maybe the purple rose. Now we've got a windmill. This can be any colour really. I think I want to pop a little green in here. I'm going to use the mellow sage because it's dark enough to be seen without being too dark, and it's a little bit different to our leaves. but even coloured quite intensely, it's still a fairly pale one. And I actually think I might do our pencils as well with this colour, just so we've got it somewhere else, or else it, you know, if it's the only one, a little bit odd. There we go. Now we have our candy canes. Just seeing if we've got a colour that's close to red. The beetroot or the amaretto are our closest. I think I'll do the beetroot. Where is that gone? There it is. Now for these I am going to leave the white ones white, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to colour another colour in there. I really feel that these have to be red and white, even though this isn't red. Just pretending. There we go. Now we have the tops of the pencils as sort of wooden bits. I'm going to grab my wheatgrass again for this. I think it actually makes quite a good look of wood. Okay, now where are we going? Well, let's go over here. So we've got this pot, these little candies in. I think we need, yes, let's go for a wildberry colour. Do these circles. Palmer violets, maybe. And we have the umbrella. I'm going to use the mocha for the stick, like we did for our other sticks. It creates some consistency, but it also, I was pleased with how it looked, so happy to do it again. There we go. The actual umbrella could be any colour. I feel like we should do a colour that isn't foodie. Now we've done greens though and blues, got a lot of blue. And the greens, they're either really pale or really dark. Maybe not then, maybe... Yeah, maybe the eggplant might be colour that I wouldn't necessarily be using for anything else. Let's come into the middle a little bit. So I want to do it very lightly, for the same reasons that I don't want it to stand out more than the rest. It's a beautiful colour. So a little bit darker on each edge, if you can. This again, lightly. Looks like a mushroom gills, doesn't it? A bit darker under there, but not too much. Don't want to overuse it and get it standing out too much. There we go. Bottles we can ignore for a minute. Now let's do our apples and our mouse. Apples. Interesting. I'm looking at my colours, greens. We've got no red, can't do red apples. I'm thinking the pine green might be the best one, but again, it's a little bit dark. I'm going to have to use it sparingly. I need to sharpen it. Now, if you sharpen your pencil, you'll stay in the lines better and have a better accuracy with where you apply your colour, but it will be more vibrant. So you need to be a bit careful that you press very delicately. These are still a bit darker than I'd hoped, but it's fine. They're not too dark. There we go. Got a snail as well. Right, let's do our mouse and our snail. I want a grey for both. I think I used the stone grey. We used that last time. His mouse. I'm just going to block colour him in because he's so little. Little tail. And so now I'm just going to use this for his body. Or do his shell with a different colour. Maybe the mocha. I know I'm using the same brown every time. They are all very similar, to be honest, the dark browns. There he is. Okay, now I'm thinking, you know, our bottles and things have all got lids. Maybe we'll do all the lids the same colour, and then we'll do all the bottles in grey. But what colour? Well, what's this colour? The dark iris. I think that's quite a nice colour. So I'm going to sharpen it and do all the lids. I'm just going to move some pencils now. Okay, so we'll start down here as we are down here. So I want it to be a little bit darker on the edge and a bit lighter in the middle. I want to make sure we can see that there's some colour here and it's not just a grey. So we need to sort of just apply a few layers because it is a pale one. The same here. You might want to vary yours a bit, but I think it's a little bit easier with regards to decision making with so many bottles to colour, but also it adds a consistency. You know, there's a constant in the picture of everything looking similar. It pulls it together a bit more rather than being a bit of a mishmash. And some people, see, I think that might be a lid there. Some people are very good at making a mix of colours work. I can't always get it to work, so I've got one here. So I find I tend to stick with a limited colour palette and with the matching things up sort of thing. Okay, and let's get, we want a cold grey for our glass, so I'll show you how I'm going to choose. Have a look. These look like the cold greys. I think this pebble is perfect actually. Is that it? No, I've got to find it now. Oh, there it is. Pebble. Now, for a glass bottle, just I put a darker layer on the edge and fade it towards the centre. Now you can colour over what's in the bottle, but because this colour's so pale it won't show, so there's no point, I don't think. We'll do these two over here. And those two on the floor level, all the same, so a bit darker here, less to the centre, and then go back from the other side. Try not to cover over the label, and hopefully now I've coloured that grey, the label looks like it isn't white. Maybe not. And then work along these, doing the same thing. I find it's quite relaxing once you've chosen the colour, just fill in all the various bits and bobs. These. I've got to decide what to do with my balloons. Oh, we haven't done our apple stems either. We'll use the mocha for that. I'll do that in a second. There we go. Where have I put the mocha? Oh, there it is. So mocha for the apple stems, stalks, sticks, whatever you call them. There we go. Now we have got ground under here, but if I colour the ground I feel like I've got to colour the sky. I'm not sure. Right, we've got flowers. I quite fancy pink, but we've got, I don't want to do it this same pink as this, so Where's the wisteria? What's that look like? I think it's a bit purpley, but I think it will be better actually because it will stand out from the what is that called? Awning, maybe. Keeping it light, this is quite a vibrant colour. Now, I did have this idea about the balloons that I would do them in gold, but I'm looking at my colours to try and work out if I can do that. So we've got a dark brown that we can use, but then we need a lighter brown, and then a sort of yellows and ochres we don't have. I don't think I can pull that off, so I'm not going to do that. We could do them lots of different colours, or just a few colours. I think a few colours might work better. Could match them to this, but I don't know if I can remember which colours I used, so that's that could be a disaster. I think it might be better if we use colours we haven't used before, so then we're not trying to match and we know we haven't, so let's do that. So I've picked out this dusty lavender, which is rather sweet, and then I'm thinking something a little bit, what about the purple rose? Have we used that? Yes, what's the sweet lilac? Sweet lilac, dusty lavender. I'm just checking what they look like. Yeah, they are different enough. Okay, so similar-ish, but not too similar. So we're gonna start with the sweet lilac. Oh, there it is. You can use more than two colours if you want to. I'm just thinking it'll be a bit easier. So I think we want quite a bit of colour on the edges. We can layer this up a little bit more because it's a fainter colour, but I think towards the centre I want it a little bit lighter. I'm going up to that dotted line for these. Just try and get you in the middle, and then doing these, making them a little bit lighter in the middle compared to the edge. The same with this bit, so a few more layers here and a few less in the centre. I know what the noise is that I could hear in yesterday's video. I was saying, oh, there's a noise. It's my boiler. Now this one and this one, I think I'll do reverse. So instead of starting with this colour, I'll start with the other colour. So simply just start here. And work across. I'm still having a little think about the background. We have to do that one. I'm really unsure as to whether to do something or not, really. I could do a few splodges of blue here and there, but I really think it might just take from what I've done on the ground. Still thinking. I'm going to block that one in. Okay, now I'm going to sharpen my dusty lavender once I've knocked my sharpener over. Here we go, dusty lavender. You can see it's a very slightly pinker colour. See, what I'm thinking with regards to background is that my pastels, I don't have these sort of muted shades. I don't really want to do it in pencil, so I'm not sure, but once we've finished this bit I will have a sit back and have a proper think. Right, I'm just going to move my pencils a bit. Things in my way. There we go. Okay. Now, so I really do feel like I need to do something down here because we've got a line. So I'm going to choose a sort of grass colour, and let's have a look at the swatch chart. We have some pale greens here and dark greens. I don't want to go dark, so I think I'm going to use the pale apple, which maybe I should have used for the apples, maybe, but anyway. And I'm just going to do a layer across and see. I know grass doesn't grow across, it grows up and down, but I'm just making it easy on myself. Like that. So we've just got a little bit of ground. You can barely see it, but that's okay. Sky. I am going to look at my pastels, and I'm thinking, I'll show you. We have grey, which I could potentially use, and look at this blue here. This is a very grey blue, so I think I'm going to use a bit of that and just go with it very carefully. Let's pop it here. Actually, I'm going to put it on the other side. Don't worry, I'll come out so you can see better. There we go. It just needs to be close for me to grab it without. I'm just cleaning it off, it's very dusty. There it is, look, really pale. I think it's just a perfect colour. You can actually barely see it. I can barely see it. You can't see it at all. I'm just doing it in little swirls in certain areas because I'm thinking, you know, if you've got cloud, you might have some blue areas and some white areas, but let's say you can't see it at all. So even though I can see it on here, I can't see it on here. So we're going to have to do something a little bit different. We could use a bit of grey or a bit of the really light purple. Because the blues I feel a bit too bright. So I'm going to try a bit of grey. What's this grey like? Try a bit of that in places. It's a shame really to do it grey because it doesn't feel like it's something you would be doing on a cloudy day. But I'm going to put a few patches of grey. And then I think I'm going to come back and really try and push some of that blue onto the page. I wonder if I saturate my cloth more and mix it in with the grey, whether it will show up a bit more. I'm thinking it is showing up a bit more. Might be still quite difficult for you to see. It's quite hard with because I've got the lamp on, it reflects off the paper. Makes it quite hard to see, but I can see it, which is a good start. And we've got, I can see the grey and the blue trying to mix in together. It is tempting to try and grab a darker one, but the colours just for me don't feel right because they're so bright. You know, this isn't going to match these muted colours that we've got going on here. It's starting to show up a bit more, I think, because it's saturating into my cloth a bit more. Maybe it's just because I'm getting used to it. Let's put some in there. Now I really feel that you're not going to be able to see this particularly well, but I'm enjoying it. And believe me, I can see it a little bit. And of course you can do yours darker and more intense if you want to. I'll keep hitting my sharpener. I don't know why I don't move it. There we go. Silly me. A little bit more. But I think I'm pretty much done. Now you can probably see that there's some splodges. I'll try and come in a little bit closer now and just pop the lid back on there so don't end up all over the floor. There we go. Oops. Let's come in a bit closer. But if I hold it up, you might be able to see it. I don't know. Maybe that way. I don't know. Anyway, there it is, our finished little card. So I enjoyed that. It's a little bit different. You could use some white pen. I'm wondering whether to try a little bit. There's a risk it just might not show up at all because we're so pale. But I'm going to try the Jelly Roll 10 actually, and put some sort of like a white dots on like the cherries, maybe on the jam, maybe around the flowers. It is showing up a teensy bit, maybe like to make our edges of our pots and things look like they've got a little bit of shine. Just a little bit on the sides. The jars is quite a good idea. But you don't have to do this last bit, especially if you don't have a pen. I didn't do any grey on this one. What do we use? Do we use the stone grey? No, we used the pebble, didn't we? Where is it? There it is. A little bit on there. On the edge of our fish tank. Follow the curve of the bottle. If you've got labels, don't go over the labels, remembering that the labels will be on the outside. You could put some on your candies as well, like on the edges of the lollipops down the side of these. Though if they're marshmallows, they wouldn't be shiny, but never mind. We'll pretend they're not, even though I said they were. Shh, no one will know. There we go, and on the apples, I think. Again, you may not be able to see this on my version, but if you do it on yours, you'll be able to see. Maybe, I don't know if it's worth doing it on the balloons, because we're going through the print, that's on there. It's more likely to show up, but we're so zoomed out you probably can't see. But it is done. So there is our candy cart. It was really fun doing something with a different set of pencils actually. Trying something a bit new, pushing myself to try and find a way of working with these colours, and I'm really pleased. So that's good. So thank you for watching today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.